What's up, everybody? Unrested here, and guess what? Today I got my very first copyright strike ever on one of my videos, and if you're wondering which video it is my list 25 top 25 strangest things about Japan, or weirdest things in Japan, or weirdest things only in Japan, I think is the correct title. Doesn't really matter. Pretty much what I did was I made a video, which was an overlay. That video was playing in the background, and I green screened myself over top of it, commenting on which stuff existed and didn't exist. Of course, I didn't disprove everything. Some of those things do exist, such as capsule hotels and things like that. But see, here's the thing with YouTube. When you put a video on YouTube, you put it under the Fair Use Act. That means any other YouTuber can take that video, and as long as they're disassembling it and commenting on it and not just taking that video, putting it on their channel, and then playing it on their channel, it's considered Fair Use Act, meaning you're putting your stuff up there for commentary no matter what. Unless someone else tries to take full claim, which of course I didn't be like, I made this video about Japan. No, I made a video about Japan. So today they tried to launch that against me. I, of course, countered it because Fair Use Act, we're going to find out. I have to wait 10 days. Luckily, the good thing is I got all the views and everything from it right away. I already got all the comments and views it's going to get. Usually you get those within the first 3 days that you make a video. What I would like you to do, which is something I would never normally promote, I don't think harassment is cool. I don't think harassment or spamming is cool at all. But in this case, I think it's prompted. In this case, I think it's deserved. And anyone and everyone watching this video right now, if you would just take just a second to go over to that top 25 list video and let everybody know on there that they put a copyright claim on my video because they were unhappy with it. That'd be great. I'd really appreciate that. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that. You know, if you're busy, you don't got time, or you can't be bothered, or you're like, I don't want to get into that kind of drama, Scott. I respect you for that. I understand. No worries at all. But I just feel like it's kind of a hassle. They're going to take my video down for 10 days simply for the fact that they disagree with it. Okay, there's no copyright claim there. I didn't actually put the video up and copy it and claim it as mine. I copied it, I edited the hell out of it, I stopped the sound, sped it up, had interjection, commentary over it, then I green screened myself over the video, which that's like making a whole new video. It's the same with music. If you have a beat and then you lay another beat over it, it is a new song. If you take a video and you lay another video over it with green screen, you have a new video, okay? That's not copywriting. So yeah, if you could take the time to go over there. You know, I gotta take a second here to just kind of rant and ramble. I don't, number one, today I can't do a JFAC because the cord that connects my camera to my computer that allows me to put those in there and edit broke. It literally just broke from age, I guess. Like I used to twist it up in my bag, and the side of it bent off, and eventually, I guess like you bend something back and forth, it eventually pops off like a paper clip. So yeah, screwed on that, and couldn't do that. Had to use a different camera today to record this, and I'm gonna just have to do a quick captured upload to YouTube. This has been a trying year. It's funny because when this year started up, it's Year of the Sheep, okay? And if you guys don't know, I was born July 29th, 1979. You now know my birthday, and that is the Year of the Sheep. It's my year. I'm supposed to be in my year now. I thought it was going to be a pretty good year, but it's been I won't say it's been a bad year, but it's been an extremely challenging year. It has been an incredibly challenging year, for multiple reasons. So number one, I've come to a point with my art. I'm still doing my art. I've got my art business, but what I've come to learn over time with doing art, which is something you only learn by doing the business for a while, is, or at least I should say this niche art that I do, is every time we get around December, as we get closer, your artwork jobs, they drop, they dip, they go down quite a bit. Your commissions, if you live off of commissions, you know, you only get paid when people actually commission you to do something, and they drop considerably, almost to a point of none around December, the closer you start to get to December. So even now they're starting to trickle off as we get out of the summer months, and that's because everybody's products go on sale, so they're finishing them up, they're wrapping them up, they're not asking for new art to suddenly inject into the book. And since that does happen, what I did on the side was take an English job. You know, no shame in that. Like I've said, I will never stop teaching. I will always take, you know, English, and you shouldn't look the gift horse in the mouth. That's you know, a job's a job. All right, I'm the same guy who started out in college doing everything from delivering pizzas to doing collections on what do you call those? Intangible loans. That means credit cards. It's a fancy word for saying collecting on credit cards. I've done a little bit of everything. I've been, you know, a movie theater, what do you call those? Ticket taker? Pop? Bellhop? Or whatever you want to call it. I cleaned the theaters. Actually, you know what? One of my all-time favorite jobs. I've done a little bit of everything, so I'm not shy to work. I like to work. I always try to keep sometimes multiple jobs at a time, just because I feel like there's a certain level of income I always want coming in. But I'm reaching a point with this job that I'm working now that it's just getting intolerable, and that inspired me to open my own school, which I've done. At this point, I've only been able to trickle in a small amount of students, and not due to the popularity of the school or anything like that. It's because of the time I haven't been able to spend on the school, because I'm still working this other English job. So I'm working 2 jobs, and I'm finding as I'm trying to add a third job to it, it's actually very hard to actually find the time to be able to do that while raise 2 kids. And on top of that, my nephew just moved in with me too. I'm taking care of him. So literally right now I'm taking care of a 10-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old in my house. So it's like a lot of lunches to prepare in the morning, a lot of laundry to do, just basic things like cleaning up after them. You would be surprised how often you clean up the same things over and over again when you have kids. This year has pummeled me so far. On top of that, today I wake up and I got a copyright notice. Awesome, right? Fucking great. I haven't given Osroshi Saturday the time it deserves. I feel very guilty about that. Don't think for a second that these videos that I don't get to make, that I'm like, whatever, fuck this video set. Like, no, I seriously have a huge passion for Osroshi Saturday. I made those couple of videos called Manner of the Mask and Soulburn Temple, and I absolutely fell in love with that style of video making, but it is the most, how do I describe it? It takes so much time to make those types of videos. I mean, you're talking about, it's almost like another job. It's almost like I would spend like 8 hours a night editing those for a week until they would come out on Saturday. And that was like a 10-minute video, right? You know, until you've made one of those videos yourself, I don't think anyone has a clue how much work we put into some of these. So hence I went to the whole storytelling aspect of real life horror stories. Now I've kind of gotten to a point where I'm reaching like this international aspect of Osroshi Saturday, and it's fun, but man, just trying to keep up with all this stuff, it's a lot. Last week I had a post on Facebook that just said, fuck this day, this is all I got. And I was having a super bad day. Like I said, my job right now is stressing me out. That English job that I have on the side, stressing me out to no end. I don't want to say any names there because I want to, you know, keep the guilty innocent until proven guilty, I suppose. But there are some people I'm working with right now that are just, I think, literally going out of their way to make my life hell. And I think we all probably encounter that at a job. Whether it be out of greed, need for authority, you know, there's multiple reasons why drama like that happens. And I'm the type of guy who just doesn't, I don't come into work and just try to start fights or anything about it. I don't like to come to work with a lot of tension, with a lot of, like, you know, throwing words back and forth. And for the most part, this kind of thing really doesn't happen that much in the Japanese workplace. Mind you, though, I am working with people who have had some time overseas and are a little more international. And sometimes one of the things you'll run into, I suppose, and you know, there can be times where I can make exceptions for this, but when they'll use the English language to talk to you, sometimes they'll be very brief, brash, or blunt. And this can usually be for reasons such as they don't know more highfalutin words or can't express themselves better, but usually you can tell when that's the situation, and it's kind of actually a laughable situation where you both have a good laugh once you explain, like, oh, that's, you know, that's a bit harsh, you might want to say it like this, and then once they realize, they'll be like, okay, let me give you a good example. Before my wife learned how to say, like, oh, that's too bad, or what a shame, like in Japanese you'd say like zanen, right? Oh, zanen. she didn't know, but she was using tough shit. So she would just like say that to anybody. Like they'd be like, yeah, my car just broke down. She'd be like, tough shit. Like, and she thought she was being totally nice. She really didn't know. Like, she's like later someone finally told her like, whoa, easy. Like that's like way too harsh of a word to use. Like, you know, like shit isn't the same as like kuso, even though that means the same thing in Japanese, which is like shit or crap. It's much stronger in English. Like it's a very great showing of apathy towards someone's misery. And she was like, oh my god, I didn't even know. I'm so sorry. Like, so I understand that kind of thing happens. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, you know, fresh off the boat being like, everybody's so blunt with me. But the person at my work that's constantly doing this, like constantly, like it's like they're going out of their way to try and, number one, be passive aggressive. Number two, just kind of push my buttons. And number three, take away the aspects of my job that I find the most enjoyable. And that's what's really, it's reaching a point where I'm literally every day considering walking out. Like today may be the day. Today I've got to go to work in just a few minutes after making this video. I may just fucking blow up. Like I may lose my shit. And that's not how I am. I'm not, when it comes to a job, I keep it as pro as I possibly can all the time. I stay as chill as I possibly can. I highly believe in having a talk with people who are not interacting correctly, or sitting people down and being like, you know, how am I upsetting you, or is there anything I can do? And we've tried to do things like that here. I've tried to get to that point, but it's not working. You know, I've already tried, what do you call, like those kind of more constructive meetings that allow people to vent and get their feelings. I've tried to get into stuff like that. It doesn't work. It's still going on. So on top of it, I've got my own school now, and I'm not giving it the time it deserves. It's not getting the time it deserves. I have friends who want me to grow it to a point that they can have jobs there, and I highly intend to do that, and they are highly motivated workers who I know I want to hire and get them out of their own go-nowhere jobs. And it's time for me to kind of step up and do that. I'm really at a point in my life. I'm at this divide. I'm at 35, which is like the count. I'm sorry, 36 now. I just turned 36. It's the countdown to 40. I'm really at a point where I have to say I feel like my own man. I feel like I know who I am, what I stand for, what I can do, what I'm confident in, what my strong points are, and what my weaknesses are, which I have just as many weaknesses as I have strong points. And what I need to build on and what I need to work on. For example, my business skills have a lot that need to grow. I may have a few things down in the art world, but I am still learning everything about business in the English world, having my own English school and everything. There's a lot I need to learn, and that is a giant leap of faith. That is a giant, scary leap of faith to suddenly put yourself in charge of everything. So perhaps there's been some hesitance because of that too, to really, because don't get me wrong, I've got a couple students, like I've got like, what do I got, 6? No, I've gotten up to 10 now. Okay, so I'm up to 10 students, and they're literally filling like every free hour I have. I'm literally like working a full-time job, coming home, taking care of my kids, waiting till they fall asleep, and then going back to work again to take care of these other, and on top of it, in between those times, doing my art job and my art commissions, my art assignments. And you know, there's a reason my name is Unrested. There's a reason that many a time you'll see comments of like, dude, you look like you need to get sleep. Get sleep. Yeah, I do. I am at that point. I am at the point of being like, damn, 6 hours is like a lot of sleep these days. I would love to just get a solid 6 hours with no disturbance. I'd love to get 8 hours, but that's kind of a pipe dream when you have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old kid in your house. So that's where I am. I kind of needed to just do this, to just kind of sit down here with you guys and have these rambles. Sometimes you guys are pretty responsive to this, and you're always encouraging. You guys are always like a great pat on the back. You know, every once in a while I get a troll or something like that, but my community for the most part is the nicest, the coolest, the most down-to-earth, level-headed, you know, community that I could ever ask for. I mean, I look at other communities in comparison, and I mean, you guys are awesome. You guys you guys are my outlet to being able to vent like this. There's nowhere really in Japan that we can do this, unless I guess we like go to Tokyo and try to find an English-speaking psychiatrist or psychologist and vent in that way. And even then, you don't really know if that's going to help, because you got to find the one that's right for you, and etc. etc. But it is important. I think it's important for anybody to find some sort of cathartic outlet in which to vent and blow off steam. And at the same time, I think it's good that I show you guys this aspect of my life too, to always let you know that, you know, Japan's not Candyland. Every day isn't like wake up and play with anime figures and meet people who are dressed in cosplay. Like, once in a while I get people that think that. They're like, you don't know about Japan? Do you even live there? No, I don't live here. I live in Hoboken, New Jersey, in my mom's basement, and I use a lot of green screens and CGI to make the background. This is all fake. But yeah, you know, my friend Dan from the Unrest team just got here. Jared just got here from the Unrest team. They're going to be helping me out with the school, getting that started a little bit more. I'd like to be able to hook Dan up with a job. I really hope I can get the school running to that point while he's here. If I could get him that visa, I would be so stoked. But I've got a lot of work ahead of me, and I've got a lot of work for the channel ahead of me too, and him and I are actually going to try and film another scary Osroshi movie while he's here, which, if all goes right, we have put a ton of money into cameras, makeup, like for real latex makeup, and more. Like we've actually, this will be my biggest production, his biggest production, my channel's biggest production, our most expensive. We've got a Canon G20, which, if you don't know anything about cameras, it's a nice camera. It's a pretty nice camera. And we've got some other stuff. We got some SLRs that we're going to be shooting a lot of macro shots with and things like that. So hopefully it's impressive. Our biggest thing, we know and we understand, we realize we got to work on this. We got to make very fluid, easy to understand stories. Kind of like what I've been doing with those new Osroshi videos that were like Manner of the Mask and Soulburn Temple and language barriers and stuff like that. I think those stories are pretty easy to understand and follow, and one of my biggest mistakes when I made my older movies is just kind of make these sort of abstract, surrealistic horror movies that you're like, I guess I understand what's going on, but even me, when I go back and watch them, I'm like, yeah, I didn't really have a kind of nebulous plot put together here. Alright guys, I think that's probably enough ranting and rambling. I hope you got something out of this video. I know I did. And maybe sometimes I need to do that is use my videos for myself. Which I guess, you know, they mostly are. They mostly are. I mean, we all love to listen to ourselves talk, don't we? Life is our own movie. Once again, thank you. Thank you always for listening, for giving me feedback, for telling me what you learned or what you want to learn. That makes JFAC possible. Thank you for being so patient with Osroshi Saturday, as I really reached a really grinding standstill point where I was just like almost felt buried trying to go back into it. And it'll continue, don't worry. The Osroshi will never die. And just thanks for being there, especially those of you who've been there for like the 6 years I've been making these videos. It always blows my mind. Thank you for signing on to Minecraft and playing Minecraft with me. I've got a huge community on there now too, and if you're not on Minecraft with me and you play Minecraft, I highly recommend you join. We have a good time there. And I'm on there almost every night because it's cathartic for me. It's something that can really help me just chill out. And that is Kaizen-Worlds. If you want to join us on there, Kaizen-Worlds.net. Kaizen-WORLDS.net. I'd love to see more of you on there. The good thing about it is if you sign on there is I can chat with you a lot more. One thing I feel super guilty about is I miss so much chat on Facebook. I miss so much chat on YouTube now because, dude, once you, pretty much after you get past about the 10,000 mark on subscribers, it gets to a very hard to manage point, and YouTube's message system and everything is never really set up very good. Anyway, I gotta close it up. I keep saying I'm gonna close up this ramble and rant, but this time I am for real. Guys, have a great one. Thanks so much for everything. Have a good one.